There are some stories that shock us to our core, tales of people lost in the darkness of caves where time seems to stand still, and the rescue that was supposed to save them ends tragically. One such story is that of John Jones, whose fate was sealed in the tight confines of the Nutty Putty cave in Utah. This is a tragedy that shook the world, one where the line between life and death was thin, and one that raised questions about the risks we take in the search for adventure. A search for an escape turned into a nightmare, and what happened afterward would leave a scar on the hearts of those who loved him forever. The beginning of the journey to IT was November 24th, 2009, when John Jones, a 26-year-old medical student, set off on what was supposed to be an exciting caving adventure. Alongside his brother, Josh, and a friend, he made his way to the infamous Nutty Putty Cave in the desert of Utah. The cave had been a popular spot for explorers, a place to squeeze through narrow passages and marvel at the stunning underground formations. To some, it was a playground of rock and tunnels. To others, it was a deep, mysterious void. Located near the small town of Alberta, Nutty Putty Cave had long been known for its tight passages and hazardous nature. For the experienced and the brave, it offered a rush that few could resist. But little did John know that a simple misstep in one of the tightest sections would lead to a life-and-death struggle that would unfold within hours, changing the lives of his loved ones forever. The fateful moment, John and his group entered the cave, excited to explore the dark, twisted maze of tunnels that had captivated adventurers for years. As they ventured deeper, they came to a narrow passage called the Bob's Tunnel, one of the most notorious parts of the cave. It was a passage so tight that it required special techniques to squeeze through safely. John, who had been caving before, knew the risks, but his enthusiasm got the best of him. In his attempt to explore further, John wedged himself into a narrow, horizontal crevice known as the Birth Canal, a 10-inch wide passage that required precise maneuvering to pass through. It was a dangerous section, one that had been the site of close calls before. But John, determined to explore, believed he could do it. He managed to get through the tight passage, but as he tried to turn his body around to exit, he found himself stuck, completely wedged in. The panic set in almost immediately. John was stuck in a position where his body was pressed against the walls of the cave, his chest compressed, and his legs immobilized. He could barely move, and there was no way to reach back the way he had come. His body was lodged so tightly that there was no way to free himself. The seconds stretched into minutes, and the minutes into hours. His friends, unable to help him, called for rescue. The rescue efforts as John's friends tried to comfort him and keep him calm, a rescue operation was quickly launched. Emergency responders arrived, and what followed was a harrowing 27-hour ordeal. John was stuck deep in the cave, and rescuers were struggling to figure out how to remove him. The passage he was trapped in was so narrow that no conventional tools could help. Everything they tried to pull him out of the crevice failed. The rescuers could only inch closer to him, trying to free him without causing further injury or making the situation worse. Meanwhile, John, trapped and barely able to breathe, began to lose hope. His body was contorted in ways that made it impossible for him to move, and the tight, unyielding walls of the cave felt like a prison. The hours passed, and despite the heroic efforts of the rescuers, time was running out. Rescue workers devised numerous plans to try to extricate John, but each attempt was thwarted by the cave's uncooperative terrain. The walls were so narrow that they couldn't fit the tools they needed to free him. They were left with no option but to carefully try to loosen the earth around him and gradually free his body as the hours wore on. The situation grew increasingly dire. The oxygen supply was running low, and the rescuers knew that time was not on their side. The tight space John was trapped in meant that he had very little room to breathe, and with every passing minute, his chances of survival grew slimmer. The tragic outcome to be why the time rescuers had come up with a plan that they hoped would work, it was too late. The strain of being trapped for so long, combined with the lack of oxygen, had taken its toll on John. His body could no longer withstand the pressure. And at 8:30 p.m. on November 25th, 2009, after 27 hours of being trapped, John Jones was pronounced dead. His tragic fate, sealed by a simple slip in the depths of Nutty Putty Cave, left his family and friends devastated. The aftermath, John Jones' death was not only a heartbreaking personal tragedy for his family, but also a stark reminder of the dangers inherent in cave exploration. The Nutty Putty tragedy raised numerous questions about safety, rescue procedures, and the risks adventurers take when they venture into the unknown. What began as an innocent desire for exploration ended in a devastating loss that would echo through the lives of those who loved him in the aftermath. The Nutty Putty Cave, once a popular spot for cavers, was permanently closed to the public. The state of Utah took the decision to seal off the entrance, effectively closing the chapter on one of the deadliest and most haunting incidents in the state's history. The cave, once a place of adventure and wonder, had now become a chilling reminder of the perilous beauty that lies beneath the earth, a legacy of love and lost. John's family, in the face of such unimaginable grief, chose to honor his memory and the lessons learned from his tragic death. His parents, with the support of friends and loved ones, spoke out about the risks of caving and the importance of safety. They hoped that by sharing John's story, others might understand the dangerous allure of caves and the importance of respecting the forces of nature. The Nutty Putty tragedy remains a part of John's legacy, as well as a cautionary tale for those who seek to explore the unknown. As John's family and friends continue to mourn his loss, they hold on to the memory of the adventurous spirit that led him into that dark, unforgiving space. The tragedy serves as a reminder of the fine line between adventure and danger, and the unexpected risks that can turn a simple desire to explore into a horrifying ordeal. The Nutty Putty tragedy is one of those dark events in history that will forever be etched into the minds of those who heard it. It's a haunting tale of a man who loved adventure and the unknowable depths of the earth, only to be trapped in the very place he sought to explore. John Jones' story is a stark reminder that the thrill of discovery can sometimes come at an unfathomable cost. In a world filled with mysteries waiting to be uncovered, some are better left undisturbed. And while John's family hopes his story serves as a lesson for others, his memory lives on as a symbol of the extreme beauty and danger that can be found in the depths of the earth, where darkness reigns and the line between life and death is often razor thin. The Nutty Putty tragedy, forever a part of history, remains a dark chapter in the tale of human exploration, a chapter that should never be forgotten.